Hello and welcome to the next lecture. Today we're gonna play around with the GELF. So GELF is like a library with which or service with which you can send the logs to different providers such as Graylog, one of the popular. Then we have Elasticsearch and Logstash, and the last one is Fluentd. We won't cover the last one in this video. Just we'll play around with two first one. So let's create firstly a project. The only extension that we'll have is a login GELF, and we have a hello resource as always. Let's create it and open up in IntelliJ IDEA. But firstly, we'll have this project. Let's open up a GELF and let's start the Graylog. So let's firstly, I have here Docker Compose that you can use for the Graylog. So you can copy it over. I probably will include the files, so you can create a vim docker compose YAML like this, copy it over, and call docker compose up. Okay, as you can see by my sign that couldn't connect to Docker daemon, don't forget to run the Docker itself. So you can see that if I call docker ps, it should return. In my case it's empty, but you get the idea. So let's call the docker compose again, docker compose up, and it will load all the libraries that is missing, so it'll take a few minutes probably. Yeah, so meanwhile let's set up one of the settings that we need, which is extensions for this GELF. So just go to the src main resources, application properties, and put these 3 lines. So the GELF enabled true, then we have a host will be local, and then the port will be 12,201. So yeah, and now let's wait before everything set ups for in Docker, right? All right, so you can see it started, and there is like starting listening bound to 900, for example. So one more thing that you'll need to have is do the curl to open up the port 12,201, and the bint others will be basically the 000 to listen to everything. And yeah, so you can see that. Let's copy it over one more time. So this is a basic out for admin, and there is a little bit of information for the UDTB input. So let's execute it, and you'll see that what it is. So that's content length. Let's see if we have 201 created. So everything is fine, and now we can actually just execute Maven. We actually no, sorry. So we'll need to create one resource, like some logs here. So let's create a logger, public static logger from gbus logging logger equals logger get logger, and then I don't know, hello resource class, simple name, something like this, right? So this could be better like this, and let's put here one more, oops, logger info, for example, right? And then hello executed or something like this. So now when we start our app, maybe be Quarkus dev. Let me make it a little bit bigger for you so you can see what's going on. Yeah, so we'll have a Maven Quarkus dev. Let's start up our app. Probably fan will be louder in this lecture because there is a lot of instances running right now. But yeah, so I hope you'll hear me. So you can see it's started, and we can go to GELF and try to execute our hello message a few more times. Okay, no, that's acceptable. That's bad. Why? We have a /get. I think because the application just on. Okay, so yeah, just remove the. So let's call the hello a few more times and open up the. So you can open up the localhost 9000, and you have this Graylog. So you can write the admin. That's a default one, and you can see that we have. So we can go to search, and you will see that we have the messages called hello executed from our hello resource. So there is a lot of info that can be useful. So now we can close it up and just kill it. So we don't need it anymore. Let's call the docker compose down. And now let's try to use the same thing, and just you can close the Quarkus as well for now. Let's start the another Docker setup. We can go to nodes. I have here the, so let's firstly create a file called pipelines GELF conf. So I'll create it right there. So we'll create a file, new file, pipelines. Actually, I think I need to create a directory firstly, pipelines, and let's create a file GELF conf like this, and let's input it here. So we have this setting for the GELF, and so you can see that we have Elasticsearch 9200. We can put here localhost, for example, like this. And the port 12,201. And actually we'll need to have, so we have this Elasticsearch. So this will be used inside of the Docker container for the Logstash. So this Elasticsearch 9200 will be for us. All right, now let's modify the Docker Compose a little bit. Remove everything that was here, and let's go to the terminal and copy over our new Docker Compose setup. You'll have probably a file, but yeah, so you'll have it, these services. So you can see that there is Elasticsearch default one, then we have a Logstash with this 12,201, and there is also a pipelines folder. The target will be default for the Logstash. So we'll have here a pipelines folder with a GELF conf, exactly what we need. All right, perfect. So now we can start our Docker Compose. Let's start it up, Docker Compose up. And yeah, this again will take a while because I don't have these images by hand, but yeah, let's wait a little bit. All right, so it took a little bit of time, but to start it up, but you can see that Logstash 1, we have a successfully started Logstash API to the endpoint. And we have also the start GELF listener at 12,201, which is perfect. And now we can start our app. Let's go to the, we also have a Kibana there, so this is perfect. So let's call the memory Quarkus dev. This will take a little bit. So yeah, now let's execute our hello endpoint a few more times, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever, right? We can go to the localhost 5601, I think. Yeah, so you'll open up a Kibana, and yeah, we can explore our own, and I think that there should be a, you can put the, so there is like a Logstash, as you can see. So you can put the Logstash like this, next step, and yeah, by timestamp, whatever. So this will create an initial setup, and you can call the discover, and you will see the amount of requests that you have. So this will have more information than like the usual logs usually. So you have a lot of information that can be used, and it's automatically parsed as well. So you have a leveler as well, message, source host, like the facility, the manager, and yeah, so timestamp, of course, you have as well. So the best part is this, you have this automatic timing. You can also, I think you can set the auto refresh every like 5 seconds, for example, and it will automatically update. So if we'll call the postman a few more times, like 3, for example, after it refreshes, you'll see new logs appearing here. This is really helpful for real-time access for the logs. I use it a lot of time in most of the projects. This is really helpful. So you have a Logstash, Elasticsearch, and then Kibana, and you visualize everything real time, and you also can narrow your, like here there is example status 200 and extension PHP. This won't work here, but you get the idea that you can trace everything that's needed. So you can put a severity, for example, warning or something like this, to see only the errors and something like this. So yeah, this is really helpful. And now you know how to use the GELF with the logstash and Graylog if needed. You can also look up the other ones like the fluentd and the syslog as well. Yeah, I hope you like it, and I'll see you in the next video.